What's up, guys? Tonight you are live with Lex, and today is kind of a different video. I know you guys are used to me going out and interviewing players, and don't worry, I have some great interviews coming soon. But today I just kind of wanted to do this sit down video with guys. A recent topic that has been going around all over my social media. I actually just saw someone comment on it on Fox News. But it's a piece that Jamel Hill, someone who I look up to, she wrote a piece, and basically it was talking about African American athletes attending, the importance of them attending HBCUs. And I just want to say, I personally do not believe that Jamel Hill is promoting segregation. That was actually the headline that was on Fox News. Jamel Hill is promoting segregation. And I just want to say, as I have mentioned before, I am a student that attends an HBCU. An HBCU, if you do not know, is a historically black college or university. And I attend Howard University. Shout out to Howard. I actually have on Grambling University. Shout out to Graham fam. I actually have their shirt on right now. But an HBCU, if you do not know, was a space that has been specifically has been specifically create is a better word, specifically created to help African American students, people of color, to thrive. There was a time, in this country where African Americans couldn't necessarily be in the same spaces, be in the same campuses, be in the same rooms, be in the same cafeterias as white people. And so HBCUs like Howard University, like Grambling University, were created so that African Americans could find their place, could thrive, and could essentially, become professionals and outside of those states. So there is an importance in an HBCU. As someone who attends an HBCU and knows people who have attended HBCUs, I believe that there is an importance in HBCU. And I feel that this topic of should black athletes, the importance of them attending HBCUs is something that should be talked about. I recently was a part of this Twitter discussion with some football players, I guess, Troy Benson, and he was, talking about how he actually provided this stat of 10% of African American Hall of Famers went to an HBCU. And that was something to me, because I am relatively younger, that was something that kind of shocked me, because the people that I know, in the younger generation, they don't necessarily attend HBCUs. They don't necessarily pick HBCUs as the number one school that they chose to go to. Now, when you hear of top players, top athletes, they're attending schools like Alabama, like LSU, Florida, Ohio State. They're attending, big SEC, big schools. And HBCUs aren't necessarily getting the top recruited players to play at their football programs. And I feel like that's something that should be talked about, because when you think of players such as Michael Strahan went to Texas Southern. Texas Southern is an HBCU in Texas. And when you think of older players that attended HBCUs, they kind of saw the importance of attending those schools, because they know that there was a time when African Americans couldn't necessarily be at the football programs, couldn't necessarily be at the table with white people. And I feel like the discussion and kind of the article that Jamel did write was something that, was very much needed, especially in this time, because when you think of players, top players in the NFL, you think of Leonard Fournette, Odell Beckham, you think of Michael Thomas, you think of all these great players. Where do they attend? These African American athletes attended PWIs. And trust me, I'm not going to knock down anyone that decides to attend an institution that they know is going to help prepare them for their future, that could literally hand them their future, because Alabama and LSU, Louisiana State University, are the two top football programs that have the most players in the NFL. Alabama is number one, LSU is number two. And when you kind of think of all that, these players, African Americans, Alabama, for instance, I believe has $175 million football program. And imagine what that money could do at an HBCU that could give those athletes so much more tools and necessary, so many things, so many greater things to help them, to get to the NFL, because these players are coming to play too because they want to make it to the NFL. And so I believe that this discussion was something that should be happening like I mentioned, I'm not going to knock down anyone that decides to attend a PWI or decides to attend institutions, because I personally know people that have attended PWIs so that they, can play in the NFL, so they know that they have a better chance of getting recruited and making the NFL. But I believe that there needs to be another discussion of the importance of African American athletes attending HBCUs. And once again, showing that HBCUs, they do have, they although sometimes you don't necessarily have all the funds and stuff, but when you think about it, you have to think of there was a time, as I mentioned, where these African American athletes attended HBCUs because this was the place for them. And I feel like there needs to be that kind of discussion once again of the importance of HBCUs, the importance of African American athletes, realizing that yes, like sometimes you don't have to necessarily go to these Alabamas and these Ohio States and these Florida Gators, and you don't have to go to all of these other football programs. That sometimes if you go to these HBCUs that don't necessarily have like those number one names, that you can thrive as well. So, guys, this is kind of just like a sit down discussion with you all. Don't worry, I have some more interviews coming. And once again, too, if you have subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I need some more subscribers if you guys want to continue to subscribe. Also, if you want to like some of my videos, my past videos, I really appreciate that, guys. I'm someone that's like working really hard because I know where I want to be in life, and this is something that's so important to me in my life. So once again, thank you, guys. You were live with Lex, and I was kind of discussing the importance of African American athletes attending HBCUs. Have a good day.